I'm soaked and shivering. I'm tired of everything. I let Dad take my hand. Mom brushes my face with her fingers. They rush to embrace me. We're a sopping mess, the three of us. But all I can think of is that for the first time in a long, long time, I'm being hugged by my mother and my father at the same time.
Hi, my name is Sharon Draper, and I am the author of Blended. Blended is a story of Isabella, who's 11 years old. Her mother and her father are divorced. Isabella's father is African American and he's rich. Her mom is white, and her mom struggles to make ends meet. She lives 1 week with mom and 1 week with dad. So she really has two lives. She says, half of my life is mom's house and half of my life is dad's house. I have no life of my own. Isabella is a pianist. She plays a really strong classical piano. She uses the piano for escape from her frustrations, for joy because she loves music. And in order to play the piano, you have to join the black keys and the white keys, and they have to be blended. And the combination of combining the black keys and the white keys makes for a beautiful, beautiful piece of music. But her life is blended as well. She has to blend her father's life and her mother's life together with her life. Isabella goes to a racially mixed school, doesn't really think about race very much. She has to deal with a situation that is very, very painful, very, very difficult. An ordinary girl ending up having to face extraordinary circumstances. Look for Blended at your Scholastic Book Fair.
Hi, I'm Kelly Yang, and I'm the author of Front Desk. When I was little, I grew up in a motel. Every day, I managed the front desk while my parents cleaned the rooms. It was something nobody at school knew about me. I'd been thinking about a way to tell my son about my childhood, so I wrote Front Desk. Front Desk is the story of 10-year-old Mia Tang. Every day, she manages the front desk of the Cala Vista Motel while her parents clean. Mia's proud of her job, and she's good at it too. She loves the guests and treats everyone like family. When one of the guests gets into trouble with the police, it shakes Mia to her core. Meanwhile, her parents hide immigrants in the empty rooms at night. If the mean motel owner, Mr. Yao, finds out what they've been up to, they'll be doomed. Front Desk is about not giving in to fear and being strong and kind, even when you're down on your luck and life is hard. I hope when kids read this book, they'll be filled with courage and empathy and hope. So guys, what'd you think of Front Desk?
I really liked it. Mia was awesome. She gave me lots of strength. That book is great.
Thanks so much, guys, and hope you like Front Desk too.
Melissa is a nobody.
Bondi is a show-off.
Wilf is a slacker.
But somehow they all need to figure out a way to work together in order to get what they deserve.
Whenever all three of the kids got a letter to participate in a contest to win a $10,000 scholarship, they all thought it was too good to be true.
When they get their first 3 clues, they start to wonder if this contest was real or just one big hoax, because none of the clues seem to make sense.
But after a couple of days and a couple of clues solved, something just still didn't seem right about the people running it.
When the kids start to figure out things about the competition, the people running it, and their history, they need to do something about it for their sake.
How will they earn the money? What is at stake? What surprises are waiting beyond the big pile of money?
Find out in the Ambrose Deception.
This is 1 Minute Books, and I'm reviewing The Donut Fix by Jessie Janowitz. Oh, it's cold here today, so this will be kind of a quick review. This story is about a boy named Tris, and Tris and his family live in New York, but end up moving to upstate New York, to this little teeny town in the middle of nowhere. And once they get there, their parents say, hey, school's not going to be starting for a couple weeks. We need you guys to come up with a project or something to do to keep you busy. So Tris decides when he sees this sign in the general store that he's going to find a way to make chocolate cream donuts and sell them. This book is super funny. I mean, there's just so much humor in what goes on in this family's life. Zoe, who's Tris's little sister, is just this kick in the pants. I mean, she's definitely a handful, but super funny. And the way Tris deals with stuff, there's always little bits of humor, even when they have to deal with their dad getting hurt. I mean, the way the kids help him, it was super funny, I thought. If you like books that are full of humor and are dealing with stuff that happens in real life and use the humor to show you different pieces of what can happen in a life, you'll like this one. Definitely give it a try. For more information on this book, check out my description below.
It's 1947 in India, and 12-year-old Nisha writes in her journal every day. Each entry is addressed to her mom and tells her all the everyday things, like how Kaze, their cook, lets her help prep the dough for fresh, warm chapatis, or how her twin Emil loves to run, jump, and draw, how Daddy hums her daily prayers, and how Papa comes home tired each day from working as a doctor at the hospital. But soon, the daily hum of her life is disrupted when the British rule ends and the country is divided into 2, Pakistan and India. Violence also starts to erupt between religious groups, leaving Nisha's family stuck. Papa is Hindu and Mama was a Muslim. Where does her family belong? If they leave to India, would it mean leaving Kaze, who is more considered a family member? Learn more in The Night Diary. Natalie has a super enthusiastic science teacher, Mr. Neely, who is assigning the class to come up with a capital Q question, a question she will study all year to learn the scientific process. The trouble is, she can't come up with a question, so she's assigned to an egg drop science contest instead. Well, the real problem is no one will answer the actual questions she has, like, why did Mom let all the plants in the greenhouse die even though she's a botanist? Why does Mom stay in bed all day and night? When will Mom stop acting so far away? And why doesn't anyone want to talk about depression? Not all questions can be answered, but find out which ones are in The Science of Breakable Things.
If you're in the mood for a book with a lot of mystery, a disappearance, and a death, this is going to be the book for you. So The Truth is Told by Mason Buttle, one of my favorite books I read this year. It's about a kid named Mason. Mason is self-admittedly, the biggest, sweatiest kid in 8th grade. He actually has a disorder that causes him to just sweat profusely, so much that he brings 2 t-shirts to school every day. He's not a smelly kid, he just sweats a lot. He also has learning disabilities, so he has a lot of issues reading and writing. But the real issue going on is that a year and a half ago, his best friend Benny was found dead. And the thing is that Mason was the last one to see him alive and the first one who found him at the bottom of their treehouse on the ground dead. And so the town and the investigator really suspect that Mason had something to do with this murder, and the investigator stops by often to his house to ask him questions. And Mason doesn't really get it. And so the cop keeps asking him to write down his story, but because he has these difficulties, this isn't the easiest thing for him to do. So at school, a teacher introduces him to this software program called the Dragon, where he can like talk into it and it writes out. So he starts telling the story of what happened that day that Benny died. Same time, a new kid starts, Colvin, and he and Mason become friends. These two kids become targets of the bullies that Benny and Mason were targets of to begin with. And then Colvin goes missing. And so the cop, the town, Benny's dads really suspect Mason of foul play. And you have to read it to find out what happens. And nothing happens bad with the dog, so it's all good.
Okay, that's good to know, but now I'm very concerned about Mason and...
You should be.
Okay.
What would you do if your own mother forgot you? That's what happened to Guinevere St. Clair and her younger sister. A medical crisis left their mother, Vienna, with memory problems. Their father, Jed, moves the family back to their hometown of Crow, Iowa, to try to help Vienna's memory. The girls become fast friends with their neighbors Micah and Jimmy, but Guinevere is suspicious of their guardian, Gacy Cutter. Especially when Gacy's friend and neighbor, Wilbur, disappears. As Gwen tries to unravel the mystery of Wilbur's disappearance, she uncovers new questions about her own past. Like what exactly happened when her parents and Gacy were kids? And how much does the past shape the future? Join Gwen in this unforgettable adventure about friendship, family, and loss. The Unforgettable Guinevere St. Clair.